Hello Internet, Noel here. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube. Today I'm going to be taking a look at these. These are the Sennheiser HD4.50 Btnc wireless active noise cancelling headphones. Right, so these are the Sennheiser HD4.50 Btnc. So they are Bluetooth wireless active noise cancelling headphones. They retail, well, they RRP for £179 in the UK, but generally they can be found between £100 to £150. Currently, Amazon have these for £120 UK and $149 US. However, they routinely go on sale. So I've paid $89.99 for these, and that was during Black Friday a couple of years ago. Amazon currently have their special edition black variant of these on sale for $89.99, although I noticed that they're actually more expensive on the US Amazon. But for £89.99, I think these represent superb value for money. They're incredibly popular. I'm often seeing these adorned by commuters during my train ride to work. So I figured I'd give you a look at these so we can check out if they're any good and whether their insane value outweighs any potential negatives. So firstly, I'm going to take a look at the specifications. So these headphones have a impedance of 18 ohms and a sound pressure level of 113 decibels. They have a frequency response of 18 hertz to 22 kilohertz. They're able to use the aptX codec, which allows for an increased audio quality over Bluetooth as long as your device actually supports it. They have a lithium ion polymer battery with a claimed battery life of up to 25 hours. That's how they claim on the box. However, if you have the noise guard enabled, it will actually be closer to 19 hours. From my testing, the battery life claims seem to be about right. I would get through a week most of the time on a single charge of light use, wearing them at my desk at work. I didn't wear them all the time, but if I was using them fairly heavily, maybe I would expect to charge them once a week. But generally, I think the battery life is pretty good, and it takes just 2 hours to charge them. That's not a big deal there. So let's take a look at the actual product and what you get in the box. So here is the bag that they come in. So this is a durable nylon weave. It's not particularly thick padding or anything like that, but I find that the headphones themselves are pretty durable, so I don't think that's really a big deal. Right, so they get these out of the bag. Right, there we go. So here they are. They fold up nice and neat like this. Put those aside for a moment. You also get, inside this bag, actually, there's a stuff pocket. Keep the cables and things. You also get some cables with it. So you get a USB charging cable. That's USB-A to micro USB. No USB-C on these. And you also get a 3.5 millimeter cable, which terminates in a 2.5 millimeter cable. Goes into the headphones at this end. It also has a twist to lock mechanism. Put it in and then you twist it, then it can't be pulled out by accident. Take them back out again, you just twist and connect. This cable allows you to use these headphones in a wired mode should you run out of battery, or should you just prefer to run them wired. They can also be used in wired mode with the noise cancelling on, as long as you have the battery power. So let's take a look at the headphones themselves. On the left-hand ear cup, there's not a lot going on, but you do have an NFC contact pad here. This allows you to tap your phone, and they will pair to Bluetooth automatically without you needing to go through any settings. That's a nice little feature. On the right-hand side is where all the business happens. So you have here, you have a power LED. That will flash either blue or red and sometimes purple, depending on the status of the device. So if I was to turn them on with the power button, which is the next one along, hold that down for 2 seconds. There we go, 2 seconds. They flash a couple of times, and now they're synced to my phone. If I now hold that down to 2 seconds again, turn off. Now, when they do get turned on and off, there is an audible voice that says power on and power off. So you don't need to be able to see the LED to know whether it's on or not. Next up, we have the multi-function button. Now, this is a rocker style switch where you can push it backwards or push it forwards to skip forwards or back in tracks. Hold it backwards or forwards, then you will fast forward through tracks. If you push the button down, then you can play or pause tracks, you can answer calls, and all those sort of standard features. Next up, we have the volume rocker. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory, but if you were to press both buttons down at the same time, that will turn Sennheiser's noise guard technology on or off. There's no audible notification that you've turned noise guard on or off, apart from the fact that in theory, the outside audio would be quieter. Next up, you have the 2.5mm jack for the cable that we explained earlier. We have the power connector, the micro USB power connector. Then you have a microphone. Again, on the other side, on the side of the right ear cup, you have another microphone. So these work for when you're taking calls with the headphones on. Moving on to build and comfort, they are entirely plastic. However, they have a remarkably solid feeling construction. The extendable parts, they seem to be plastic. They may have a metal inside because they're very, very stiff. They seem like they would be very, very strong. I don't expect to see them breaking with any kind of normal use. They are very flexible. The clamping force is quite high. I find that as a glasses wearer myself, the clamping force is a little bit too high, but they may give in time, and perhaps if you stretch them out over a box, then that might be something that you can deal with. They're fairly light. They weigh 238 grams, according to my kitchen scales. The headband, this is where the first of my issues with these headphones comes in. The headband is only lightly padded. If I put my thumb against the padding here, I can feel the plastic on the inside. This is also a rubber material. It's not a fabric or a leatherette or anything like that. It's a weird kind of almost tacky rubber, and I'm not so keen on that myself. I think the headband on this headphone is one of its weak points. Certainly not very comfortable. The ear pads are nicely plush. They feel like memory foam. They're nice and soft and squidgy. They're very deep. So in theory, you have enough room for your ears. They're a very soft pleather. But this brings me on to one of my main concerns with these headphones is that the openings for the ear are very, very small, almost comically small. At this point, if you have ears even remotely large, maybe even just medium-sized ears, you're going to find that your ears touch against the sides, and that pressure is going to lead to discomfort very, very quickly. What makes this even weirder is that Sennheiser market these as circumaural headphones, which means they go around the ears, whereas the ear openings on these are so small that I think for a lot of people, they're actually going to be on-ear headphones rather than over-ear headphones. And that's fine as long as you know what you're buying, but when Sennheiser market these as circumaural, they're really not being entirely clear about how these fit. Now, this might not be a problem for you. However, for myself, I find these headphones very, very uncomfortable. A combination of the lack of padding in the headband, the small openings for your ears, and the very tight clamping force, I find I can't get past 20 minutes wearing these before I want to take them off and throw them away. In fact, I would go as far as to say these are the single most uncomfortable headphones I have ever worn. Now, of course, your mileage may vary. I'm a glasses wearer myself, and I have probably slightly larger than average ears. So it could be that these headphones are just incompatible with me. But I just think you should know what you're buying before you buy them, regardless of how good the deal is, that they do have some serious shortcomings when it comes to comfort. Okay, let me do a quick comparison for a moment so that you can see what I mean about the comfort. So I have here the Sony Heron 2s, aka the WH900N, I think they're called. Yeah, WH900N. Now, these are these retail probably for around £50 more than the 4.50s, but they you could consider them to be reasonable competition for each other. Now, immediately, you can see the headband on these is significantly better. It's much more padded. The ear pads are nice and padded, nice and deep as well. But critically, while they don't seem to be that much smaller at the bottom, they are much bigger at the top, thus allowing you much more room. They look ear shaped. Look at them. They look ear shaped, and when we bring them up against the Sennheisers, you can see a marked difference between the two. The Sennheisers are much smaller. And let me bring in another pair. This is an unfair comparison, but we are talking about comfort, not overall quality. These are the 1000 XM3s, and the difference is massive. 1000 XM3s are extremely large, and they don't fit like large headphones. So, look at them. The ear cups are not much bigger, and yet look at the difference between size between where you're meant to fit your ears. You will be literally stuffing your ears into these Sennheisers. That rounds off the build and comfort section. Build quality is very good. Comfort is very poor. And I think comfort-wise, Sennheiser have really dropped the ball here, and that is such a disappointment. Right, so that brings us on to probably the most important thing for headphones, and that is, how do they sound? And pretty good, actually. I think they sound surprisingly open and airy for a closed back noise cancelling headphone. They don't have a particularly wide soundstage. However, they don't have that weird closed in pressure that you sometimes get with some closed backs and often noise cancelling headphones. They have a somewhat balanced or neutral sound, although they do have a slightly emphasized bass. But when I say that the bass is emphasized, it has good punch. It's there. It doesn't sound muddy or bloated, but they're definitely not bass cannons. I think overall the sound is fairly neutral. I think if you are used to the Sennheiser house sound, then these will fit right in. You'll know exactly what to expect from these. In fact, they remind me in many ways of the Sennheiser 598 closed back edition when it comes to their sound. That's probably the best praise that you could give these. And considering their price and the fact that they're closed back noise cancelling, it's very difficult to expect something stellar from a pair of headphones when it comes to audio quality. And sure, they're not stellar. In fact, they're okay. But then when you look at what else is around for this kind of price with these features, actually, they sound really good. How about the noise cancelling? Well, it's okay. It does an okay job of cutting out the office aircon. I would imagine it'd be pretty good on an aeroplane. All the things that you'd expect noise cancelling headphones to be good for. But I don't find that they cut out the aircon noise completely. Not like on those 1000 XM3s when I have the noise cancelling on with those, the aircon is completely inaudible. With these, you can still kind of hear the sort of the higher frequencies of the aircon noise. They cut out the low frequencies, no problem, but the higher frequencies, the hissing noise that you sometimes get from the aircon, these don't do it. 1000 XM3s will do that. But then we are talking about a difference between a pair of headphones that cost me £89 and a pair of headphones that cost me £300. So it's not really a fair comparison. So in summary, for audio quality, I think they sound awesome. They're exactly what you can expect from a lower end Sennheiser noise cancelling headphone. We shouldn't compare these to the higher end models and certainly not to any audiophile grade headphones. They're never going to compete with that. But if we look at what's available on the market at this end, I think these do a very good job. I don't think sound quality is what lets these down. It is in fact the comfort. The headband padding is frankly inadequate. The clamping force is very high out of the box, and the ear openings in the pads is comically small. That means if your ears run even on the large side of medium, you're probably going to find these uncomfortable. So I'm wondering if these really have any competition, and perhaps you'd be looking at the Heron 2s, but these run a good £50 to £70 more expensive. And you could look at some of the other budget brands that you might find on Amazon, like Cowan, Dowtronics. By all accounts, the Dowtronics headphones are very good. I've not heard them myself, but Zeals did a review on one of the pairs the other day, and he was quite impressed with them. However, they do run a good £20 cheaper than these. I think there's a few important features when it comes to Bluetooth noise cancelling headphones. You have portability, you have sound quality, you have noise cancellation. Those are probably the three most important things. What is your priority? Is it sound? Is it noise cancelling? Or is it convenience? Now, convenience factor, I give these a 10. For sound quality, they're pretty good. So I'm going to give them a 7. And when it comes to noise cancelling, I think they're pretty average. I think they're okay. So I'm going to give these a 5 or a 6. Now, they all have a certain convenience. So pretty much you could say any active noise cancelling headphone out there is going to do the job when it comes to convenience. So if you're looking for a convenient set of headphones, there are probably cheaper headphones such as those ones with Altronics. If you're looking for convenience and sound quality, these have got it. So I think they fit a good niche there. Noise cancelling are not the forte, but it's nice to have it. Now, if you want the best noise cancelling that exists, just drop the money on a pair of QC35s or 1000XM3. If noise cancelling is what you need or what you want, then you need those headphones. If noise cancelling is a secondary concern of yours, these will do the job. You can get past the comfort issues. These are the best £89 you can spend on headphones, I think. So there you go then. What do you think of the Sennheiser HD4.50 Btnc active wireless noise cancelling headphones? Let me know down in the comments, and like and subscribe and all of that business. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have a new video out soon. I'll try to get a new video out every week. And until then, have a good one.